A team of astronomers, including Evelina Momcheva of the Carnegie observatories, has discovered the most distant cluster of galaxies ever found. In a surprising twist, the young cluster born just 2.8 billion years after the Big Bang appears remarkably similar to much older, present-day galaxy clusters. The researchers were looking for clusters of galaxies when the universe was still very young, and expected that the clusters they found would look young as well. However, in this cluster, they found a number of surprisingly ancient-looking galaxies. The cluster resembles modern-day clusters, which are nearly 10 billion years older. The cluster was first detected using NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, which is sensitive to the infrared light emitted by the galaxies. To determine whether the galaxies were indeed gravitationally bound, the team used the Inamore Magellan aerial camera and spectrograph at the Las Campanas Observatory in Chile. Galaxy clusters are the largest gravitationally bound structures in the universe. Studying the new discovery will help researchers understand how galaxies evolve and form clusters. The large red galaxies were unexpected because most galaxies at that time were still rapidly forming stars and, as a result, appear smaller and emit bluer light. These galaxies must have lived fast and died young. This is John Strom for the Carnegie Institution. Department of Global Ecology scientist Joe Barry and colleagues at the Research Center Jülich in Germany have discovered that radiation drives transpiration, the process of releasing water vapor to the air through the actions of tiny leaf pores called stomata. This research has enormous implications for weather forecasting, climate change, agriculture, hydrology, and more. Stomata are lip-shaped pores surrounded by a pair of guard cells that control the size of the opening. The size of the pores regulates the inflow of carbon dioxide needed for photosynthesis and the outflow of water vapor to the atmosphere. This transpiration cools and humidifies the atmosphere over vegetation, moderates the climate, and increases precipitation. Stomata also influence the rate at which plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This affects the productivity of plants and the concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide, which is important to climate change research. Current climate change models use statistical analysis of a few plant species and do not include a solid understanding of the mechanism of stomatal regulation. This lack of knowledge is a poor basis for extrapolating environmental conditions. The researchers illuminated a sunflower leaf with incandescent light of different colors. Similar stoma openings occurred with equal energy outputs, indicating that heat was the driver of the behavior. The experiment was replicated with 5 other plant species. Scientists had assumed that the guard cells forming the pore have sophisticated sensory and information processing systems that adjust the pores. But this research demonstrates that the rate of water loss by stomata is linked to physical processes deep within the leaf. This means that the current model for what drives stomata to alter their size has to be revised. The research is published in the July 12, 2010 online edition of the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. This is John Strom for the Carnegie Institution.